My name is Andrew Ryan, and I did my internship at Peak Performance. It is a sports performance gym and facility. They have facilities all over, so it's not just one gym or one place. They partner with a lot of people, and they go into those buildings and they will train their athletes. So it could be a recreational team or like people that contacted him personally to train in their specific gym, and he can go there and he'll train them to get to the goals they want to do. Before I started this internship, I thought it was going to be me following my supervisor around at his one facility and me learning from him and learning how to design programs and how to train athletes and teach proper form and other things like that and of that nature. But I ended up having to go pretty much on my own and go into different facilities. I designed my own programs and would send them to my supervisor, and he would critique me on them. And that was a big challenge I had to overcome. Intro to Strength and Conditioning was probably one of the biggest classes that helped me throughout my internship. I had to know a lot about reps and sets, and then how to teach proper form. Form was one of the biggest things I had to teach because I was working with younger athletes, anywhere from someone that was 7 or 8 years old to a freshman in high school. So they didn't really know much about their body, and they didn't have a lot of control, and that was one thing I really had to teach through proper running form or how to squat, just certain things like that. And then that led to a lot of proprioceptive workouts. Some of the things I learned from this internship were different ways to train people, and that's the biggest thing that I might use in my coursework now. I learned a lot of different movements and the best way to keep athletes entertained, and that is one of the biggest things that I learned from this internship was how to keep athletes entertained throughout the whole workout and make sure we were working every part of the body and not just focusing on certain workouts. I learned that you don't really get 5 days a week with athletes if you're at a sports performance gym. You have to get everything in 1 or 2 days a week, which is a really hard thing to do, but it can be done, and it can be done in a short amount of time. And that's one of the biggest things I learned about my workout or from my internship. I encountered a lot of challenges during this internship. The two biggest ones were definitely not having a facility that had everything I needed all the time because I moved around so much. So I would have to walk into workouts not really knowing what kind of equipment I would have to use. So once I would show up to a workout, I might have to completely change the workout to fit to what we have. So one day we might have dumbbells and bands and ladders, and then another day I might show up and all we have is a strip of turf with no dumbbells, no weight at all, no bands, nothing. So I learned you always have to be able to think on the fly and adjust your programs to still get the work you wanted in. The other thing that pushed me outside of my comfort zone was I did multiple tournaments where I was there for basic CPR and first aid. So I had to do things like blood times at wrestling meets, which is something I've never done or trained for a whole lot in class besides my basic athletic training class. So this really helped me hone my skills and see that if I do want to be in this profession and own my own gym the plan is, my supervisor does, that I'll need to learn these things because that can expand your business so far. And knowing athletic training can push me to be a better trainer if my athletes get hurt, and to be able to adjust programs and certain things to them and diagnose them all within my house instead of having to send them somewhere and do things like that. The most important thing I learned about myself was that I might not come off as a very personal person in class or in day-to-day conversations, but once I'm talking about something I love, like working out or training people, that I can talk and I can instruct and I can just teach people how to do things the correct way. And it's easy for me to conversate with them and get their minds off of the workout maybe and talk about how their life is or how they're feeling and how I can make someone feel comfortable with what they're doing, even if they feel like they look kind of funny while they're working out, or I can make someone love the way they think about themselves and that really gives me a good feeling. My greatest accomplishment or reward came from training the East softball girls. I trained 4 to 5 girls 3 times a week, and it was probably one of the most fun things I've ever done. At first, when I first showed up, they didn't know a whole lot about speed or agility or anything of that sort. So I could see from the very beginning things like basic running form, moving your arms like 90 degrees, keeping your elbows locked, how to knee drive, and certain things like that, and just watching them improve over the time, and then being able to do more advanced drills and getting feedback from them really helped me, because I knew this is what they felt uncomfortable with, and that if we worked on that and did small things, that we could get a really big result in the end.